It's Free Lunch Comic News.
Finally.
Back after a long heralded delay.
It's all right, though.
Vacations and Terrificon and other things.
Did you have a good vacation?
I had a great vacation. How about yourself, Matthew?
It was good. Where'd you go?
I went all over the place. I went to Massachusetts. I went to New York. I was very busy. How about you?
The family went down to Old Lyme. We stayed on the shore for a week. It was nice. It was really nice.
What a nice story.
It was real cool.
Well, we'll talk about all that, and we're going to talk about Terrificon later on the show.
Yes.
We'll have our first ever story time with Uncle Matt.
Oh.
It's going to be great. Everyone's going to love it. That's what I'm calling it, and you can't change the name of it because I already said it out loud.
Yeah.
So that's the name of it. So we'll be back in just a bit with the comic news.
Right after this quick little spot for the Monday Night Jam.
Yes, of course. Yes, of course. You'll hear all about the Monday Night Jam in just a bit, and then we'll be back with your comic book news. It is
Free Lunch Comic News. Come to the Terrafil Mill in Simsbury, Connecticut for the Monday Night Jam. Monday Night Jams are creative outlets for all ages. Kids from 7 to 13 come to the Free Lunch Studios in the Terrafil Mill from 5 to 6. Adults, 6 to 8:30. Come in, network, work with fellow talents, write, or just talk. Free Lunch Studios, Terrafil, Connecticut.
Welcome back to Free Lunch Comic News. It's time for Matt's favorite part of the show because Matt gets to talk the whole time.
Oh, you know.
It's time for your comic news.
All right, so I'm happy to share some headlines from a variety of different publishers. We're going to start off first with Boom Studios.
Boom!
Do you remember Clueless, Mark? That movie?
The movie
Clueless?
with what's her face and the other girl and Donald Faison was in it.
And Ant-Man
Paul
was
Rudd.
in it.
Paul Rudd. Yeah.
Well, Clueless, you can finally rejoice. The cult film from the 90s is going to get its own comic book published by Boom. It's going to, they're going to navigate the minefield that is teenage love, angst, and blocky cell phones. This film helped launch the careers of Silverstone, Murphy, and Rudd. It's a news bite that caught my attention. I think that there's definitely a call for it, and for everybody thinking, is this even going to work? Are fans going to dig it? And to quote Silverstone's Cher, as if.
Exactly. I agree.
Next up, this is specifically for my daughter, but all the wrestling fans that are out there, Boom Studios and WWE are happy to announce that they're going to publish a WWE Survivor Series 2017 special. I just picked up the SummerSlam special edition at the Terrificon. This edition will be shipping the same month as the Survivor Series, November, and it's going to feature some of the biggest WWE superstars in history with stories
by classic Survivor Series?
Well, hang on. I'm getting there. With writers Panetta, who's done Zodiac Star Force, and Ferrier, who's done Kong on the Planet of the Apes, and May from Saga of Pilocene Exile, featuring art from Brooklyn Allen from Lumberjanes, Kendall Good from The Doorman, and Kelly Williams, The Cabinet. This special celebrates one of the most beloved annual pop culture events with untold stories from the world of sports entertainment. Anybody who's familiar with the Survivor Series knows it's chock full of firsts. Survivor Series is where The Rock and The Undertaker debuted. It's where The Shield first arrived, and of course, where the Gobbledygooker showed up
in Hartford.
In Hartford.
In Hartford.
So they're very excited to release that project. It's going to be oversized, just like the SummerSlam issue, and it's going to be a standalone issue that will feature several short stories tied to the history, including Brock Lesnar, Goldberg Showdown.
Yeah.
And they also have Team Raw versus Team SmackDown women's elimination match.
Whoa.
And here you go. This is what you wanted to know. The most controversial and infamous match in WWE history, the 1997 Montreal
Screwjob.
So wrestling fans, you've got a comic to get very excited about.
That's pretty cool. One of my favorite. That's like my favorite pay-per-view of the year usually.
Oh, is that? Well, my daughter's is the Royal Rumble.
Royal Rumble.
She really likes that
Royal
one.
Rumble's the top one. Yeah.
So now we're going to jump over to Image. Skybound Entertainment unites with writers James Asmus, Joseph Keating, and Christopher Sebla, and Joshua Williamson, with artists Joe Infernari, Jordan Boyd, to create a new global phenomenon in evolution. This new series is set to launch with an oversized debut issue in November. Society is now moving at an exponentially rapid pace. Our technology processes information faster than our biology is capable of handling, says Keating. Evolution explores what happens when this goes awry, when humanity is left behind by its progress, venturing into the unexpected, horrifying directions that evolution's horror focuses on, that sense of loss. Sounds like a very exciting book for all you horror fans. Evolution 1 will be available in stores Wednesday, November 15th. And if you're communicating with your retailer, you have pretty much till mid to late October if you just make that last minute decision. So you have tons of time. Going to jump over to Dark Horse now. Dark Horse brings more Project Mayhem. That's right. After 6 months on the New York Times bestseller list in hardcover, Dark Horse is excited to reveal Fight Club 2 will be available in paperback. Best-selling novelist Chuck... I'm going to torture that name. Good old Chuck and his artist
Chuck.
Cameron Stewart collaborated for one of the most highly anticipated comic book and literary events of the decade, the return of Tyler Durden. Fight Club 2 features a cover by the legendary artist David Mack. A nice, easy name to pronounce. And a very talented individual.
I bet.
Also from Dark Horse, Mobius Productions will be adding to the Mobius library over at Dark Horse. The Mobius library will have Inside Mobius Part 1 set for a February 2018 release. This is a little further out. They're thrilled to announce the third volume in the Mobius library with Inside Mobius Part 1. It's preceded by the New York Times bestseller and Eisner Award-winning Mobius library, The World of Edina, and Mobius library, The Art of Edina. So a lot of different things. So that's going to be fresh in the new year, 2018.
Wow.
We're in the DC section, and I know Mark's got a big headline on this. I'm just going to start off. Big announcement. The Jetsons are going to be heading to the DC Hanna-Barbera comic line.
Wow.
The Jimmy Palmiotti.
His daughter, Judy?
Yes. The art looks very interesting. Amanda Connor's got a cover on there, but Jimmy Palmiotti and Pierre Brito will be doing the contents. My last DC news bite before we get to you, Mark. Vertigo joins together with veteran horror writer Tim Seeley from Hack and Slash and artist Stephen Molnar from Star Trek to create a spine-tingling new series, Imaginary Fiends. This 6-issue miniseries combines elements of both horror and sci-fi for a tale that will leave readers in shock and fear. So this is a very exciting story. It looks like years ago, a young girl named Miss Calais was found covered in blood near the woods in a small rural town of Cannon Falls, Minnesota, when her best friend Melba attempts to murder her.
That's crazy.
Yeah, well, investigators try to understand why. Melba is revealed that a spider girl named Molly Peachpit told her to. Years later,
Molly Peachpit.
Oh, Molly, and your crazy stories.
Oh, Molly Peachpit.
Years later, Melba is turning 18 and will begin her real sentence in federal prison. That is until a new unit in the FBI recruits her with an explanation for what happened to her many years ago. Okay.
Melba sure gets around.
Another
Melba
word.
Rouse, get it.
Oh, wow. Another world exists beyond ours, one that is terrifying, where hungry, spectral aliens stalk the minds of the weak and impressionable. And these parasites have leached onto humanity too long, but in order to understand them, Melba must first unleash her own power. This book will ship mid-November from Vertigo. That's pretty awesome. And then, Mark, you've got
dark,
something here.
Stranger Things-esque sounding.
Very much so.
But going on with the darkness, the Batman Who Laughs And his boy Wonders, ? In case you missed it, Greg Capullo's cover to Dark Knight's Metal #5 was revealed last Friday, featuring the first look at the Batman Who Laughs. This terrifying Batman from the Dark Multiverse debuts in Dark Knight's Metal #2 on sale September 13th. The picture is on DC's website. It looks epic.
It does.
Greg Capullo was one of the guests over at the Terrificon, which we'll be talking about in just a bit. From what I heard, a very nice gentleman. And what Batman, Evil or Not, would be complete without a Robin, or in this case, Robins. The Batman Who Laughs and his dark sidekicks also appear in the September 13th in Teen Titans #12. Part 1 of the Gotham Resistance tie-in. This 4-issue crossover includes Nightwing #29, Suicide Squad #26, and Green Arrow #32, pitting DC's bravest heroes against the threat of evil versions of Batman from the Dark Multiverse. And they also have a cover of the Teen Titans 12, which looks epic and all metally cool looking. And then they have a picture of Batman and the Robins, which is
super creepy.
And all sorts of craziness. The Batman Who Laughs and those Dark Robins get a one-shot tie-in, so check out Jason Fabok's cover to the Batman Who Laughs #1 on November 12th. We told you there would be a horde of deadly beings that appear to be powerful nightmare versions of familiar figures, and they meant it.
Ooh, creepy.
It just keeps getting creepier and creepier. You want a better look at Batman Who Laughs? You can go to the DC website. Riccardo Federici, the artist behind the image of the Dark Knights that we revealed at San Diego Comic-Con, has completed a set of Dark Knights with a look at the 7th evil Batman. You can't get any more metal than this guy.
Whoa.
He is epically disturbing looking.
Wow, that's crazy. So yeah, go to the DC website, check out their news.
You can check all that out there. And that'll do it for
the comic news.
Comic news. We'll be back right after this with a quick word from mouse not moving. Thursday, which is tonight.
Oh my God, that's tonight.
Go check out Thursday over at the Free Lunch Comic headquarters.
Yes, over in Terriffill, Connecticut.
The old mill. You can check it out. It's great. It's an awesome place.
And as the kids say, BRB.
BRB, which means be right back for you unknowing folks. I had to think for a second myself. I'm getting old.
Where are we going?
We'll be back with the Convention Report right after this. Woo!
Every Thursday night at Free Lunch Studios in Terriffill, Connecticut, we open the doors to our friends for drinking, gameplay, networking, and our favorite beverage. Come on by Free Lunch Studios in the Terriffill Mill for drink and draw, drink and game, or even drink and learn. Every Thursday night, 7 to 9:30, hosted by Matt Ryan. Come on down, freelunchcomics.com.
And welcome back to Free Lunch Comic News.
We're back.
It's better than ever. But next up right now we have my favorite part of the show. It's the Convention Report, where we tell you about all the conventions going across the whole country.
That's right, we're upgrading.
We've upgraded.
Yes.
People are asking us to find out where's the show going on in my area. Well, here's the information coming to you right now.
Oh my gosh.
Here's Matt
This is
with
it.
your Convention Report.
Yes. Level 2.
Favorite music.
It's true. This is my favorite music. All right, so don't forget the camera's on for your weird dance moves. Okay. So for the people that are listening to the podcast, we also do the Facebook Live thing too, so you can always catch up to it there. All right, so we're going to start off on September 10th in Florence, South Carolina, Florence Comic-Con. Also, that same day, Poughkeepsie, New York, the ultimate comic book trade show and expo.
Great town,
Poughkeepsie. Poughkeepsie, New York.
I go there often.
Do you really?
I do, for go-karts. It's a great town. Great town.
All right.
A lot of cool stuff to do there.
September 16th, Bloomington, Minnesota, the Comic Card Comic Convention. Also September 16th, Monroe, Michigan, the Monroe Comic Con.
Wow.
Also, Somerville, Mass, Ladies Con.
Ooh, hello, ladies.
September 16th and 17th is our first 2-day show. Manchester, New Hampshire, Granite State Comic-Con.
Great show.
September 16th and 17th. This
I
is
think
also
our good friend Lewis and Jeremy will be there. from
Is that
Angry
right?
Geeks,
At
I think
Granite
they're
State?
yeah.
Okay. Also that same weekend, a little further south, Bethesda, Maryland, the Small Press Expo. If you're into independent comics, this is the show for you.
Is that where your buddy's going to be down there?
Steve Canaris will definitely be down there.
Yeah.
That's in his backyard.
Yeah.
Big shout out to Steve Canaris. Booyah.
And did the old Sammy Sosa. If you're watching on the live, you saw me do Sammy Sosa.
Back to the, well, I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, this is a 2-day show as well. Memphis, Tennessee, the Memphis Comic Expo.
Ooh.
Moving on to Saskatoon.
Saskatoon.
What? This is in Canada. This
Saskatoon?
isn't even in this
Saskatoon.
country.
Saskatchewan.
It's at the Saskatchewan.
We're going international.
Entertainment Expo. That's also the 16th and 17th. Now we're going to jump ahead to the next week. September 21st through the 23rd in Salt Lake City, Utah. It's the Salt Lake Comic-Con.
Oh. That's a weird thing. It ends on a Saturday.
Well, you know, it's interesting. And then you've got another one here. The 22nd through the 24th, it's reported here.
Yeah.
Cincinnati, Ohio is hosting the Cincinnati Comic Expo.
Well, that's a Friday, the 24th.
That's a Friday?
That's a Sunday. I mean, the 24th. Sorry. Sorry, that's what threw me off. The one before ends on a Saturday. That's a weird coincidence.
If you want to really go into comic overload, you can actually go back to Baltimore, Maryland on the 22nd and 24th and enjoy the Baltimore Comic Con.
Ah, sweet
Surprising
time.
how close
Also,
those
the
shows
same
are.
day is ClipsCon, isn't it? The 24th of September?
I believe
It is.
so.
It is.
No, I think it's the 29th. It
Is
might
it?
be the 29th.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
I might be able to make it then.
September 23rd, Santa Rosa, California, the Santa Rosa Toy Con.
Ooh.
September 23rd and 24th, the Nittany Con. And that's
in
going to be in
Pennsylvania?
Pennsylvania, yeah, State
That's
College,
by
Pennsylvania.
that's right at Penn State.
Yeah, yep. Moving on, September 28th to October 1st, Columbus, Ohio, Cartoon Crossroads.
Ooh, that sounds cool.
It does sound cool. A lot of comic cartoon history in Ohio.
Yeah.
September 30th, Richmond, Virginia, Richmond Comic-Con. September 30th and October 1st, Mount Clemens, Michigan, Fantasticon. Good name.
Ooh, that's a cool name.
Uh-oh. And then we also have September 30th and October 1st, Birch Run, Michigan, Fantasticon, Birch Run.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe
That's
it's
at
a
the
big area. So
Well, you've got the Gibraltar Trade Center for Fantasticon, and you have the Birch Run Expo Center for Fantasticon, Birch Run.
yeah.
October 1st in Essington, Pennsylvania, the Philadelphia Comic-Con with an exclamation point. That's going to be at
Philly Comic Con.
the Clarion Hotel Conference Center.
I'd call it Philly Con. If it was
Oh boy. And then you've got the Super Bowl for this coast, October 5th to October 8th, New York City, New York, the New York Comic-Con over at the Jacob Javits Center.
Javits Center, cool place. I go there.
All right. Good
I usually go because the thing is a little side note. Every year, New York City Comic Con happens like the week after that. We usually have our TV convention.
Oh, is that right? So you go
when
there
I
for
go
that?
to the TV convention, they're always setting up New York Comic Con.
Oh, that's
So I
interesting.
always sneak over there and peruse beforehand.
All right, next, October 7th, over in Schnecksville, Pennsylvania.
Schnecksville,
Lehigh Valley Comic-Con.
Lehigh Valley, home of the Phantoms.
This sounds like a nice small town show. It's over at the Schnecksville Fire Hall over on Park House Road. If you're
The old
or
Schnecksville Firehouse.
Pack House Road, sorry.
It's a great pancake breakfast they have at the Schnecksville Firehouse.
October 7th and 8th, Sacramento, California, the SAC Comic-Con.
Sacktown.
October 8th, Cleveland, Ohio, Cleveland Comic Card and Nostalgia Show.
New home of Isaiah Thomas, Cleveland, Ohio.
October
For
8th,
basketball fans.
Cleveland, Ohio. A lot going on in
Ooh,
Cleveland.
home of
That's
rock
the
and
same
roll.
thing. They put it in twice.
Oh, sneaky bastard.
We're going to have to kill another intern.
Oh, jeez.
October 8th, Annandale, Virginia.
We're running out of interns.
What?
We're running out of interns.
I know, it's true. It's the Schaff Promotions comic book and non-sports card show. And that's going to be at a fire station in Annandale.
Ah.
October 8th, Atlanta, Georgia, for all of our friends that are
The
down
ATL.
at SCAD.
The home of
The
the quarterback who can't win Super Bowls.
Hey, the Atlanta Comic Convention over at the Marriott Hotel in Century Center.
Unless you're famous Matt Ryan that plays there.
That's in Atlanta, Georgia. October 14th and 15th, Jackson.
Wow, we're going deep.
We're almost
October?
done. We're almost done. October 14th and 15th, Jacksonville,
Starting
Florida.
up next February.
The CBC Comic Book and Toy Show. This might be my last convention report, and Mark might be taking it over, so I can heckle him during his spots.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're doing a great job.
Yeah, thanks. October 20th and
Really in depth.
October 20th through the 22nd, Santa Fe, New Mexico. Mark Tarrant, we're shooting this one out to you. Santa Fe Comic Con. That's going to be at the Buffalo Thunder Resort and Casino.
That sounds awesome.
I do want to go to that.
I want to go to there. Buffalo Thunder.
Same weekend in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's the Grand Rapids Comic Con.
Grand Rapids Griffins.
That's going to be at the DeVos Place Convention Center. October 21st and 22nd, Boston, Massachusetts. It's the Massachusetts Independent Comics Expo.
Ooh, that sounds impressive.
Very similar.
That sounds
very similar
very
kind
fancy.
to the Small Press Expo. A lot of independent creators.
Sounds very fancy.
Very cool. And then
Sounds like I should wear a suit to go there or something.
You could. And the last one, it's also going to be close by. Oh, it's the same weekend. Marlboro, Mass. Not far. 20-minute drive maybe from Boston.
Wow.
Super Mega Fest Comic Con. Ooh.
Well, you could always do a twofer. It's right down the road.
Oh boy.
You technically have to pass the Super Mega Fest to get to Boston.
So we're ending
So you could do the Marlboro show for a couple hours and then go to Boston and do the other show.
You could, but you're dropping bills to get into both.
Hey, the love of the game, man. Love of the game.
I guess we end.
You know what show you did miss on us though is
the Cliff Show at the end of September.
Cliff Show at the end of September. Also, at the Eastfield Mall, September.
Oh my goodness, that's
9th
right.
and 10th.
That's right. Our friend Bill is running the. What is he even calling that? I don't even know.
It's it's Bulldog Promotions is putting it on.
It's at the Eastfield Mall.
Eastfield Mall. It's a comics and collectibles show.
And he's starting to build
2-day
up
event.
A lot of people. You're going to be there.
I'll be there all day Saturday. I'm probably going to be there Sunday too.
I'll be there Saturday.
Because Sunday at 2:30 in the afternoon, they're going to have a live wrestling show happen.
Now, is that confirmed?
In the food court. It's on the Sunday. I checked.
It's the wrestling matches on Sunday?
On Sunday. So
I
you
thought
have
it was
to redo
Saturday night.
You have to remove your schedule around.
Oh, yeah.
So,
because you know what other show I forgot? That's that same weekend is Camp Anime.
Camp Anime as
which
well.
is in Woodstock Valley, I believe, right?
Yes, in that area. Yes, in the Putnamish.
Putnam, Woodstock
area.
Yeah, and that
Correct.
starts on Friday and runs through till Sunday.
Yeah, and speaking of Putnam, since we're doing convention report, we'll also throw this in real quick. Shout out to friend of the show. Got a new story put together.
Yeah, big
Putnam.
congrats, Wonderland Comics.
Yeah,
Two of our
record
friends,
store. Yeah.
Two of our friends have just moved. So you've got Wonderland moving into his new spot.
Yeah.
And then Larry is starting to make big moves on his new space. I actually traveled up to Lowell, Mass, and
that is a travel.
It's not.
It's a jaunt.
It might even be Chelmsford. I'm not even sure, but
Carlos.
He's got a new. He's got a nice new spot. So both of these guys are very excited. We wish them the best of luck in these new locations.
It's awesome to see comic book shops getting bigger and instead of smaller.
Oh, you wish the best for them. It's a very exciting time.
Yeah.
Very.
And the
exciting.
Putnam one they're gonna combine with a record store. That's gonna be cool.
Yeah.
Comic books, records.
Yeah.
I'll be going there.
He's digging that.
I'll be checking it out.
And you're out there anyway running those go-kart things, aren't
Yeah,
you?
I'm out that area. I'll be out that area the whole Labor Day weekend. I'll be living in Woodstock, basically.
Did you find out what the deal is with that for me to tag along?
I'll talk to you about it after we get off the air.
We'll talk about it after the show. That's how you get things done,
That's how you
folks.
get things accomplished.
Put people on the spot,
Put 'em
and
on
then
the
they got to
spot.
answer. All right, so that's what I have for the convention report.
That's
you
the
know,
convention
you
report.
can always catch me at the Cliffs Cons in Plainville, VFW, and I think we're going to run a
Speaking of
spot
Cliffs
for
Cons,
that.
we're going to run a spot for them right now.
Awesome.
It's the Free Lunch Comic News.
Woo. Cliffs Cons of Plainville, Connecticut. Looking for that hard-to-find comic or that really rare toy, or maybe you're just looking to save a couple bucks on your comic collection? Come on down to the Plainville VFW almost every month of the year to enjoy one of the coolest comic shows around. Cliffs Cons of Plainville. Only 99 cents to get in. Food, donuts, coffee, while supplies last.
we're back again here on Freelance Comic Book News. It's time for a new segment that Matt's calling the Con Report.
The Con Report? I think that's fair, right?
I, on the other hand, I'm calling it Story Time with Uncle Matt.
Oh.
So here we go. It's Story Time with Uncle Matt, everybody. Sit back, relax, and enjoy as Matt tells you his adventures around the world of comic books.
This is terrible. So, let me get
as you light the fire,
my glass.
Bring down the
my
lights.
little glass of wine here.
Pour yourself a nice glass of wine. Sit back.
So I'm reporting
as Uncle Matt tells you all about his trip to Terrificon.
Oh my God! When is your segment coming up? Where is yours? So we just did the Terrificon, and
I want to do a podcast. Sure, sounds great.
And
Terrificon was awesome.
I was
there
awesome.
on the Saturday.
A 3-day show down at Mohegan Sun.
Yes, it's like the most epic weekend.
It is a true comic show
in Connecticut, I think. If you're going to a con in Connecticut, I'll say right now, if you're going to,
just wow.
Yeah, wow. But it's an awesome thing because you're just walking around. If you're not even going to the con itself, and you just happen to be there, you turn on the corner and there's like Odin and his wife just standing there in the middle of the casino, and it's just a cool atmosphere to just be around, and just everyone. Since the second year of it being there, I think everyone there is kind of more accepted it, I guess is the word to say. It's kind of like more like it's more involved in the casino. It's more involved in it than it was the first year, which was expected, but it's really cool. So you got in there Thursday when you loaded in, right?
No, I didn't get to load in Thursday. My car was being worked on, and I had to run Theme Night Thursday, which was
that's right.
or Thirsty Thursday, which was D&D, and then the next day I was going to pick up one of my volunteers, Shay, to head down to the show. Got a nice early start, and my car broke down.
Oh.
And I just got it back.
Oh.
So like while I was away on vacation, my car was at the garage that whole time, and then they still kept it into the next week, which, okay, I made things work. So then I pick up Shay, and we break down like right there. Well, this is a shout out to two people. I think their names were Matt and Bonnie. They come up, and
these are like Chris's and Shay's like landlords or whatever.
Yeah, but they don't know me from a hole in the wall.
It's good folk. Good folk is what it's called.
And Matt just starts swimming around under my hood, and he commits to fixing my car. And he's in there like repairing the hoses that were not, properly taken care of, and his wife
said he was like sending them to the auto body shop to get parts.
Well, yeah, his wife just takes off. She goes to the local auto parts place to get some more coolant that exploded out from my car.
Jeez.
Yeah, and they fixed it.
Wow. Who knew? You could have just left it there as opposed to leaving it at some other place for a week and a half.
Yeah, and if you were aware of the weather reports for Friday, we were supposed to have like really terrible storms at that time.
Were.
And the wind was like whipping like crazy.
Yeah.
And thankfully that didn't happen. This guy fixes my car, sends me on my way. So I give him some stuff to thank him.
Yeah.
I give him among
some free lunch swag.
An original sketch of Jon Snow from Game of Thrones.
Well, there you go.
Done. So I gave him that, and we head back to the show, and we ended up being 15 minutes late for the access to the loading dock.
Okay.
So we bribe the gatekeeper to get past him, and then bribe a young man to help us get into the show. So we were able to load in.
Yeah.
And we had to literally bribe people to get in. And we load all this stuff in, and I've got to go to the bathroom so bad.
Yeah.
And I got to move my car anyway. So I actually leave the show. Shay stays in. And I go and park, and I hit the men's room, and I go and pick up some donuts because hello.
Yeah,
and
that's
then,
what you gotta do.
And then I go to the admissions, and they don't let me in.
Craziness.
Yeah, kind of crazy. So now I'm like, all right. So now I got to go. They send
don't you know who I am?
I don't even play that card because I know they don't.
I'm Matt Ryan.
Damn it.
I lost the Super Bowl.
Do you want me to sign a jersey for you?
Do you want me to sign a jersey for you?
So then I walk back to they direct me to
Julio
the concierge desk halfway in the middle of the casino. So now I
Yeah.
got to walk back. And I end up meeting another person in line, Wyndham, Tyler Wyndham, I believe. And he's a writer and designer for LucasArts.
Yes.
And he's worked on the
Trevor, I believe his
the,
name was.
the Jedi Code and
Yeah.
the Jedi Path and the Bounty Hunter's Code. So wicked nice guy, and we're small talking, and we look ahead, and there's we were talking to each other, and then someone drops their phone, and you naturally when you hear
not going along with the moment that you're about to get to.
where you hear a phone drop, your eyes follow it. Well,
Whoa.
our eyes follow the dropped phone to a woman who's not wearing any pants, and she's basically wearing a postage stamp covering her.
Hoo-ha. Vajayjay,
If
as the kids are called.
if that, so instinctively you're like, oh damn, your phone, but then
I'm not looking.
you're not wearing pants, So this gentleman and I share a laugh, and she moves on. I don't even, Anyway,
Can you get your name right?
so he moves up to the concierge desk. He gives him his name, and he gets his badge, and he introduces me. He's like, "Oh, I want you to get Matt Ryan's badge while you're thinking of it," and he takes off. So I stand there and I watch them go through that. I watch them go through those badges 3 times to come to the conclusion that I don't have a badge there. And I'm like, "You've got to be kidding me!" And then I feel this hand on my shoulder, and this gentleman who I just met, he said, "You know what? I'm going to get you in there. Just come with me." So now I'm walking back downstairs. I go right past the gatekeeper of the show, and he looks over. He's like, "Hey, this kid's with me." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm with him." And we get in, and I was pretty hot at this point because now the show has started and there's people in
The gentleman's name is Ryder Wyndham.
Ryder Wyndham. Nicest
Picture
guy.
of him there.
Nicest guy.
He's wrote over 50 Star Wars books. And he's also editor of Star Wars comics for Dark Horse Comics.
Yeah. And so he gets me a nice guy.
So in other words, we could have a really cool interview for the show. But, man, it was
The show is here's where I am mentally. The show is open. People are in
things
there,
are going on,
and I'm
and
not
you're just
and I'm not
getting
set
in.
up. And
Yeah.
I just got in. So
yeah.
you're still pretty hot about it, right? You're still pretty fired up. Like,
Yeah.
I just went through a car thing. I hate being late. I detest being late. And then I'm
does.
also being gate kept out of the show that I'm working at.
Yes.
But you know what changed everything? Like, to be able to look back and say how fortunate I was to have this guy work on
The
my
next
car
morning I was early.
and fix it.
Oh.
And then this other gentleman to get me into the show. And what really wore me down and took me off that edge was all my friends were there at the show. And you see all
It was very much like a who's who.
like a comic reunion.
Yeah.
You get to see your old friends, and it was kind of slow for me Friday, and it was nice to be able to catch up with these different people that I hadn't seen in a long time, and it just made me feel very fortunate the way everything played out.
And then Saturday we had quite the adventure. We got there to the show. Of course, you had to stop at Krispy Kreme and get your donuts. And
I
then
did,
had to
that's
walk
true.
to the show. And we're sitting at the booth as we're waiting for things to open up, and I look across over to Ron Leary's side of the aisle, and Chris Sullivan standing there, the guy from who played Taserface, and he's also in This Is Us. I was just walking by, so I said to Matt, "You should ask him if you can do a caricature of him."
Yeah,
and
he
the
totally
story continues.
He totally went for it, and I drew a really big 18x24 caricature of this guy, and he hung it up in his booth.
Yeah,
which was a real treat.
He's a super nice guy.
Super nice. Everybody was really nice.
Yeah.
Like I didn't. You always hear one or two things. I didn't hear any kind of drama or anything. Mitch, this comes back to you, Mitch. You put on a great show. And,
He does. It's an awesome show.
I think you're
Very laid back.
Your
It's
legacy,
not very stressful like
your-
some other places.
your legacy. You're killing it right now.
Yeah.
It's a great comic show. There were tons of comic vendors. You could actually go around and shop for comics.
Yeah, I know. That was crazy.
What
Actually,
a treat! It was just.
You
it
can
was
box
great.
dive if you want. There was a lot of box diving going on, which I'm always a fan of.
Yeah, it was nice. It was really, really
Yeah.
good. Jim O'Reilly just joined us live. Jim was there.
Ah.
Jim is a very talented individual. I got to have dinner with Jim on
Nice.
on Friday night.
Cool.
Chris Fazakis organized like a nice, just
Round
a nice
table-y
collector, a creative dinner for people, and I got to meet different artists that I had never met before.
Yeah.
It was really awesome.
He's Mr. Network. I have to call it.
He
his
really
new
is.
nickname.
He is.
Chris Fazakis.
He has embraced the social.
Yeah.
aspect.
He's all over the place.
Yep.
He's
And
like
it-
a Mexican jumping bean.
And it was great because I had Greg Holcomb, who Free Lunch has its roots with. He was right across the aisle from us. We had
Yeah.
a very talented caricature guy next to us on the right. We had a very interesting artist to my left
Yeah.
who was doing more fantasy based work. It was great. It was really, really great. So once again, Mitch, kudos to you. Great being able to see all these great friends, Hector and Keith and Carlos and
Who showed up out of nowhere?
Liz Ortiz, who I haven't seen in a couple years. Like, it was just fantastic. And all the regular friends that you get to see in that setting. It was just
I
great.
met a random guy who is illustrator, does like architecture illustration, also does illustrations for Disney. Did a caricature of him and his daughter.
You
That was
missed
like a
it.
random.
There were a couple of independent wrestlers that Chad and I ended up chatting with on Sunday.
Oh,
Chad,
yeah?
So I had Chad and Steph at the booth on Sunday. Look at that. Well, we got Carolyn here and a couple different friends. Hi,
Hey,
Christy.
everybody.
Hi, guys. Tuning in live on the Facebook feed. It was just great. Carolyn was there with her crew. It was fantastic. And it was really nice.
It was terrific.
It was terrific. So big shout out to Mitch Halleck.
Yeah.
A very well produced show. I didn't even get to mention. I ran those 2 workshops, and I had a nice, 8 people each time, and great feedback from them. It was all adults, which was a real treat
Well, that's
for me.
cool. That's nice.
So it was, and they said some of the nicest things to me when it was over. So it was pretty
That's cool.
fantastic.
That's awesome.
Pretty fantastic. Once I left, I bought another dozen donuts.
course
I think
you
I'm at that point. I'm up to 36, and went home and watched SummerSlam with my kids.
With a box of lactate.
No, I had already eaten the box. It was a bottle, actually. Yeah,
Lactate?
yeah. I grind it up and I snort it. Anything to ease the.
Just for anyone who needs to know, if you're at Mohegan Sun and you need lactate, you have to go outside of the casino to find it.
Which sucks.
Because you can't get it inside the casino. Trust me, there was a long search on Saturday for lactate for Matt.
And here's another thing: if you're looking for that Reese's peanut butter cup donut,
Doesn't happen up here.
for our friends down south,
It's only in the South.
We're very envious of you. We are in a nut-free region here, so we're not allowed
don't
to
get
have
that. I don't get that at all.
Not allowed to have that.
I don't understand that. Let the snowflakes just pick it out or something.
Oh. All right. Well, with that concludes my convention report for the Terrificon.
Yes.
Are we going to be able to use the piano music all the time?
Yeah.
Like, I hope to not go through any of that emotional stuff ever again
Yeah, it was-
to get ready for a show.
It's very,
I don't want to do that.
it's very emotional, the music. in the
It was
background.
nice to have Tuesday off. I'm not gonna lie. Like we went to Six Flags. It was hot as hell.
Yeah.
My wife ended up struggling with the heat, but
Yeah.
it was still be able to. It was great for the most part to be able to go and just not think about that stuff. It was
It's a long weekend.
Friday. Cons, yes, cons are
Especially those
tough.
kind of cons are a
Yeah.
long weekend.
3-day shows are tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. That's my convention report. Now
All right.
I'll take another sip of my wine.
Sip his wine. And we'll relight the fireplace.
That's right. Get everything all taken care of.
And we'll tell everyone, we'll tuck everyone in.
And we're going to get you a Geekonomics spot to follow this up.
Yep. You're all about the podcast about nothing.
And we'll come back and we'll talk about...
We'll have our picks, special picks of things that we've come across.
oh, these are the...
that we want to feature
the comic
before we
watch.
get into the comic watch.
Oh, before.
These are special
Oh,
featured things that we have found
nice things.
that we want you to keep an eye out for
Great things.
before we get into comic watch.
Thank you
All right.
very much.
And thank you for watching Free Lunch Comic Book News.
And listening.
And we'll be back. And we're listening. Geekonomics with Mark and Brian, a weekly nerd podcast. Talk about all sorts of stuff covering all of nerddom. Brian, what else? What is the main things we talk about on our show? List them off, Brian.
Movies, comics, TV shows, music, video games,
anything, big things every week, talking about big topics, big nerd stuff. It is Geekonomics! Wake up, everybody. It's a Free Lunch Comic Book News.
Oh
We're back
my
with you
God. Would you just hit me
after
again?
nap time with Matt.
Oh.
So now it's time for our top picks of things we think you should be keeping an eye out for before we get into the comic book watch. A little bit more in depth than the comic book watch. Here's some things that we've come across in our travels. I'm gonna start off. Here
goody.
is the Free Lunch top picks.
I'm digging this music choice.
I know.
Who,
I like this.
who
huh?
picked this?
I think you did.
I picked this one. Oh, I do.
Grandpa, you can't remember
Sounds-
what things you picked. Jeepers creepers. So first thing, if you're on the Facebook Live, we'll actually show what we're talking about. I was over at the Barnes & Nobles the other day, and I found they have the DC Essential Graphic Novels 2017. It's a free book where it has a bunch of different comic book things inside. It's got some little previews. It's also got some little like top stuff coming out on the old DC line.
I think it's their top, most well received, graphic novels.
Yeah, it's got some stuff in it. It's also got stuff for the Killing Joke on it, of course, and some other ones as
And
well.
there's some teasers for upcoming stuff too. Is that
Yeah.
right or no?
I think so. I think there's some stuff in there as well. You just got to dig around in there.
What an
a whole bunch of
interesting
stuff.
thing.
It's a cool little read.
And it's nice. It's square bound.
Yeah, it's like an actual book.
Yeah,
It's
it feels
not
like
like just a, it's not like a little throwaway thing. It's an actual like thing that you got there. It's got the stuff all over.
DC Essential graphic
Yeah,
novels.
and also sitting in that little thing there, they had this is DC's Young Animal mixtape. Previews of the graphic novels curated by Jared Way.
Oh,
the lead singer
Gerard
from
Way, yeah, the My Chemical Romance
My
guy.
Chemical Romance guy. It's
So
got the actual comics inside.
So wait a
that
minute,
you
what
can flip through.
What is his role with that?
He is the writer. These are all books that he writes. These are all the previews of the different books that he is writing for DC. It's all like the DC Young Animal mixtape, and then there's
So
also
he's doing
like,
that too?
Doom Patrol. All the different books that he has written. It's all like previews of all these different books that he's.
If you're not familiar with
that
his
he works
work,
on.
he's done.
He's also works on this. He's not on this book, but it's part of
promoted.
the Young Animal group. The foreword's by Jared Way, but the other stuff. So it's all the stuff that Jared Way has been involved in. It's all different.
He did the Umbrella Academy, which
Yes,
was really,
which was
really
huge.
good. Yeah.
Huge, and so he writes this book along with John Rivera.
Jeez.
So there's all these different books. You can take a look at that. Show that to the folks on the.
So
old
this is a freebie that you can
Live.
find maybe
yeah, right.
at
It was just sitting on the checkout counter
at Barnes
at
and
Barnes and
Noble,
Noble.
or even maybe your local comic shop.
Yeah,
is
you
that
might
right?
come across it there too. But I found these at Barnes and Noble, which to me was like a huge, like a random thing because it's just you don't think you would find stuff like this at the Barnes and Noble, but it was sitting there, and I thought, huh. For folks who don't usually think about these things, that's pretty cool that they have these just sitting there. And this was the find of all finds. This is the one that I enjoy the most. I've read this like 3 times already. It's the Insight Comics 2017 Sneak Peek. That features 4 comic excerpts plus 2 exclusive previews. On the cover, it's got the Baker Street 4, MFK, and Skinned.
Insight Comics.
Insight Comics, and inside it shows all the different comics that you're gonna take a look at. Siberia 56, Zombies, the Baker Street 4, like we mentioned before, Elves, BFK exclusive preview, and a Skinned exclusive preview. MFK, sorry. But yeah, so they're.
Oh, let's show that to
Yeah,
to
Siberia.
people
I
who
opened
are
that
watching.
up, and that was the first page.
Goodness.
I opened that up, and if you're watching on the Facebook Live, you can see it. It's this huge, like, sand creature
Like
of some
space
sort
worm
like, coming out of the
thing.
thing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's all like a space story that the Siberia 65's in.
It's like a hybrid digitally
56,
painted
Siberia
and
56.
comic art. It's
It's
very
by
nice.
Christoph Beck and Alexis Sentinak, I believe are the names.
Gorgeous.
But the visuals in it, like I saw like stuff like this, and as soon as I saw these, I thought of Chris Vasakis because
Yep.
his book The Last.
I think
He's been talking about doing
think
some stuff with that. and
Jay
it's just
Miller
like-
would dig that too.
It's just so crazy.
Oh,
Then
and
of course it's got the Zombies: A Brief History of Decay.
let me show that to the viewers
little
too.
thing for
This is I've seen that on the shelf a couple times over in Manchester.
Yeah.
I think they've got a reputation here. I think they've got a standard for their artwork. It looks fantastic.
Even just like the little stuff is just crazy how like the art is just. Then of course Matt's favorite, the Baker Street 4.
Picked that one a couple months ago, people. Stick with the
featured
Free
in
Lunch
there.
Comic News. We know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
You listen to me, kid.
You listen to me, kid. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not some
Ooh.
schmuck up the street. and
Oh
elves.
my God! Let me show
which
that
is
to
just
people,
like
too.
crazy. If you're a Dungeons and Dragons fan, that was like
This is your jam.
I was looking at that and I'm like, holy momoly,
And this was free.
free
At
Just sitting
Barnes
on
and
the counter.
Noble.
Sitting on the counter, I asked the guy. I was like,
Are you got any
"Free
free
for
stuff?
anybody?" No, I just sat. It was just sitting there. I'm like, are these free? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, I need these for the show.
So do you think you would order one of those books out of there?
I think I would. And that's MFK, which is very like almost like an Aladdin-esque kind of look to it.
Looks like a Lumberjane spinoff
Yeah,
kind
very,
of feel. Yeah.
You know, street urchin-y kind of thing, which is kind of cool. And then Skinned, which is very
Mike
techno-y.
Allred. It's got a Mike Allred vibe to it.
yeah, very technically look. It's got a very like, yeah, very Silver Surfer, new Silver Surfer-esque. If you're into that. So it's all just like little previews of each book.
Insight Comics, people.
Yeah,
You're
then
getting
it's
a good
got, like,
shout
some
out here.
Stuff in there.
We're going to tag them in the podcast,
Yeah,
right?
and it's got like full descriptions of the whole thing and talks about these are all like the hardcover. These are the previews of the hardcover versions of each of these books. So
And it's kind of the European format, so they're more magazine size.
yeah,
Because
And it's got a
Baker Street 4 is
little
magazine
interview
size.
with
Too.
the editor. They're Mark Irwin, the senior editor.
Free.
Free, just sitting on the shelf, just sitting on the counter. But
There you go. They're based in California.
yeah, San Rafael, California. Insight Editions. So you can go check them out at insightcomics.com, insighteditions.com. We got all sorts of crazy cool stuff going on.
Very
It's
pretty.
a creator-focused comics is there, but this is still. I was trying to figure out a way I could take a picture of this. It's going to be my new cover photo for Facebook, or maybe it might be the new cover photo for the Free Lunch Comic Book news page. I'm sure yet, but yeah. So if you come across those, if you keep an eye out, we're at the Barnes & Noble. Take a look at that stuff. It's pretty epic.
From one of our live feed viewers, free is always good.
Free is for me. That's what I always say.
So, yeah. So now I'm getting a little bit more expensive. I I was out exploring and I
big
found,
spender.
and we talked about these a couple months. I have found the first half of the Marvel True Believer series, the Jack Kirby 100th celebration, the Celebrating Kirby. These are fantastic. They're only $1 a piece. They're putting out, I believe, 12 of them. I ordered all 12, but I saw Devil Dinosaur in the store yesterday. I bought that for my youngest daughter. But the Avengers, Black Panther, Groot, Thor versus Hulk, the Mighty Thor, Captain America, the Eternals, the Inhumans, Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Iron Man. Comic history lesson right here, you know.
For sure.
And it's just, what a treat. And it's on this nice paper. And for $1, like you can give this to a kid and be a superhero. If you look at the Captain America one, which I believe is in this stack, it is actually the reprint of the original team up of Stan and Jack from back in the day. And then as you navigate towards the back, there's the origin of Captain America from Tales of Suspense. So for $1, folks, you know, these True Believer series that Marvel puts out, I think it's a great gateway drug to getting invested and interested in comics. And like I said before, like a great history lesson as far as where our comics come from and the work ethic of a true sequential art genius.
And even just like if you're just a fan of just the movie versions of these characters, to see where they actually came from, and not just they weren't just on the TV screen, movie screen versions of them.
And I think they're shipping in 2 waves. So one chunk came out at the beginning of August, and I think the second wave shipped this week. They're in stores. They're out there right now, and I think that's why we talked about this right before the Comic Watch. They're there.
Hulk wasn't
They're
a green
available.
monster at the beginning.
He was gray,
He was also gray, and he was also like a
and that was a printing thing.
furry creature.
No. That's not. No, that's a different story.
Oh.
But he was actually the
He
Hulk.
called
Was,
himself the Hulk.
No. Slaves of the Hulk. This is a different story. This is not the Hulk.
Okay.
But what's another thing that
I'm learning things myself. As we speak.
things that I will kick off the Comic Watch, and We heard a lot.
We're gonna go into that after we do
the break.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Don't get too crazy.
All right.
I'm too busy reading all these comics while we're taking the break.
And that's only half. I'm getting more. $1 a piece. I'm thinking about framing them and putting them up in my office.
That's worth it though. I mean, just there's some covers that are just epic, like this.
I know.
This Captain America one is just awesome.
I regret not buying the Arthur Adams Walking Dead massive poster. So I didn't want to waste my time or regret, for these cheapies. Like,
especially for $1. I mean, why not?
You can't go wrong.
I mean, for $12, you got them all.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a joke. It's a joke.
It's a joke.
All right, so we're going to jump out of this segment and we're going to go and we're going to talk a little bit about Unwrapped.
Yes. Twin Peaks Unwrapped.
Twin Peaks Unwrapped, Brian
which
and Ben's
is coming to
show.
an end for season Twin Peaks.
That is my favorite podcast to listen to. Can I tell you that when I go running every day, that's what I listen to.
Every day?
Every day.
Listen to the same show over and over again?
No, I listen to sometimes they'll do a 2-hour show that gets me through like 4 days.
I know, they just did they were just here for 2 hours last night doing a show, and they're coming, Ben's coming in Friday to do an interview for another show, and they're back here next week for another show. They're deep.
They're so good.
They just came back from Seattle. They spent a weekend in Seattle at a Twin Peaks convention.
I just got to tell Brian to pump the brakes on his weird theories. Sometimes
Brian's always got weird theories.
Sometimes he's got a couple doozies.
The only problem with this Twin Peaks thing is it's cut into me talking to him about Game of Thrones because he's behind in Game of Thrones.
Oh, I know. It's so tough.
Killing me. He hasn't watched any of this season. He hasn't watched any of this season. It's killing me, man. It's killing me, Smalls. We'll be back in just a bit. It's the Free Lunch
Comic
Book
News. Twin Peaks Unwrapped, hosted by Ben and Brian. If you love Twin Peaks The Return, Fire Walk With Me, or anything that originates from the dark and twisted mind of David Lynch, you will love Twin Peaks Unwrapped, a weekly podcast show that usually airs on Wednesdays. This week it was a little early. That reviews current Twin Peaks episodes and past projects, including their books, fan magazines, actors, producers, you name it. Twin Peaks Unwrapped. You can find it on iTunes, Podbean, and Facebook. That is Twin Peaks Unwrapped, my favorite podcast program, hosted by Ben and Brian.
Back here in Free Lunch Comic Book News.
Yes.
It is time for your Comic Watch.
Yes.
We're going to tell you all about books that will be coming out in the near future.
No, they're on the shelves, buddy. They're there.
I wasn't done speaking.
Oh, so you can
in the near future.
You can cut me off through every
Don't you know how this works?
Convention
Talk
report.
to Brian. Talk to Brian. This is how it works.
This is your shtick?
I can talk and you can interrupt me, but you can't when I talk and interrupt you.
You can't even finish your
because
thoughts.
It's a fun little tidbits. Brian, you are going to have like a own little help group.
I'm also going to mention some of Mark's that he hasn't selected.
Yeah, go ahead. I don't care. I would have selected it if I wanted to go home tonight. All right. So it's time for the Comic Watch.
Comic Watch. Oh, it's so sunny out.
I love how you don't know the music, and we've done the show like 6 times.
I
already.
love it.
All right, my first pick in the Comic Watch is Deadpool number 35. As always, I pick Deadpool first because Deadpool is the best, and you should read all Deadpool books, no matter what age group you're in.
Don't worry, adults. I'll be talking to you next.
Yes. So Deadpool number 35, written by Gary Dungan and art by Mike Hawthorne, cover by David Lopez, Secret Comics variant cover by Scott Goblish. Secret Empire tie-in, Deadpool's sided with Hydra for too long, but no more! He's totally going to turn things around and take down Steve Rogers, that whippersnapper. He's going to put a stop to this whole Secret Empire once and for all. Yeah, that's the ticket.
Yeah.
32 pages, parental advisory, $3.99.
Mine's gonna be short and sweet. Image has their hardcover collected reprint of Reborn by Mark Millar and Greg Capullo. Gorgeous book. Very classy sketchbook section in the back. A little overprinted, so it's bigger than your standard comic. About $25. Gorgeous. I know that Newberry Comics has an exclusive version of the cover too. So that's my first Comic Watch item.
All right, my second thing in the Comic Watch is actually a full-blown, it's a compendium of comics. It's a color your own Star Wars Darth Vader, penciled by Salvador Larroca, John Cassaday, and John Diatoda Jr., covered by Adi Granov.
So that's a black and white reprint of the
first black and white reprint of a bunch of 60 pages of crisp black and white pages. Wield your pencils, markers, and crayons like a lightsaber and bring to life the world of one of the greatest villains of all, Darth Vader. For the Dark Lord is rendered here in 60 pages of crisp black and white, and he finds a lack of color disturbing. Vader is waiting for you to add shades to the legendary struggle between the Empire and the Rebels, and he's brought along more Star Wars bad guys like Boba Fett, and Jabba the Hutt, and all new rogues Dr. Afra, BD, 000, and Black Crestan. Feel the power of the dark side and go to town with your charcoals, or bring out the Sith Lord's rarely seen lightsaber and with pastels. Use the Force or press lightly, but whatever you do, join Vader and together you can rule this coloring book. 120 pages, all ages, $9.99.
My next Comic Watch item is from Archie Comics, but don't look twice. It is Marvel. It's going to be the Avengers Collected Marvel Comics Digest.
Look what was my next pick, Matt.
Oh, really? Did I steal one of yours?
No, I just think we should both talk about how awesome it's going to be.
The Star Wars one was great. This one's great too. I've already got it in the office.
Spider-Man.
Oh, Spider-Man, thank you.
If there was a Star Wars one, I would definitely be buying it.
There's 8 issues of content in there. It's just so nice, and it's $6, $7. They are not reprinting these. So now I know a lot of people were regretting not picking up the Spider-Man one.
So much so that I had to go online and find mine because I was so amped about getting it.
Now, did you overpay for those or no?
I don't think so.
Okay, well that's good. With those Archie Digest,
like $9.
So a little bit, but that might have been shipping included, right?
No.
So a little bit of an uptick.
Yeah, but
yeah,
hey,
these books will not be reprinted.
You can't find them on the shelves.
They're reprints themselves, but it's a nice pocket travel size.
Yeah, it's great.
I love it. Archie's going to be doing, I think it's one every other month.
Yeah, it's a great sit outside, just like kind of book to relax and
I love it. I love it.
flip through and just kind of read old stories that you've read when you were a kid and now reread them again and see how awesome they are.
Yeah, it's great. It is great. All right, that's my pick.
All right, my next pick is Batgirl number 14, written by Hope Larson, art by Chris Wildgoose, cover by Dan Mora, variant cover by Joshua Middleton. So for your retailers, if you're out there, this issue was shipped with 2 covers, and you also get a free digital download if you order this issue. So, Summer of Lies Part 1. Batgirl and Nightwing's feelings for each other have always run deep. But is their bond built on more than Bat family loyalty and a long-ago childhood crush? When an old villain comes back into Bab's life, she and Dick will have to reopen painful wounds and remember a time they'd hope would remain forgotten. This is an event no Batgirl or Nightwing fan will want to miss. On sale today, 32 pages, full color, $3.99.
My next pick is from Marvel.
Oh, it's rated teen, because
most of them are anyway, right?
Yeah.
Marvel's starting off their Generations line, and Mark just talked about a team up of 2 popular characters. Marvel's actually taking traditional characters with the new interpretations and putting them together. So you have the Unworthy Thor and the Mighty Thor together. Jason Aaron is on the writing duties for this, and Mahmoud Asrar does a great job on the art on the interiors of this. Kind of has a Stu Immelman vibe in this book. You've got a villain, Apocalypse, which is always exciting.
Apocalypse.
And I feel like when I picked it up, there is. It's got a little bit of heft to it. It's 40 pages, 2 Thors, 1 book. You can't get any more exciting about that. So that is Generations, the Unworthy Thor and the Mighty Thor.
All right, for all you Adult Swim fans out there, Future Quest Showcase number 1, written by Jeff Parker, art and cover by Ariel Olivetti, variant cover by Steve Rude. After the thrilling events of Future Quest, a new age of adventure begins. First up, Space Ghost and his young wards Jan and Jace team up with the Herculoids to rebuild the mighty Space Force.
I love the Herculoids.
Will they rise again to become defenders of the galaxy? Or is there something lurking in the shadows ready to stop them for good? It's on sale August 16th, so it's been out for a little bit. 32 pages, $3.99.
You can't beat that.
Look at that cover, it's just awesome looking.
You know, and I loved the Herculoids back in the day.
Oh, Herculoids were the best.
That was my jam. And Space Ghost is really good too.
Space Ghost is the best.
That's a good pick. Good on you. Good
Thank
on
you.
you.
I like Space Ghost.
I believe.
I used to love the Space Ghost TV show, talk show. That was also good.
That was very clever and very, very funny.
Yeah.
I just picked this up. It's another big expense. This is jumping down between my treasure find of a book and Mark's freebies that he found over at Barnes & Noble. Sheena, number 0, just hit the stands. It's only a measly quarter. Marguerite Bennett and Christina Trujillo are on the writing duties. Moritat is on the art. A fantastic looking book. This is from Dynamite Entertainment. This is going to be tough to find because I think that the impulsive quarter purchase is going to be tough to deny. So if you see it, it's just a quarter, man. It's a gumball. You could pick that up and really enjoy that. I'm going to talk real quick, Mark, before you jump to yours. My last one will be Hercules, Wrath of the Heavens. If you remember in a previous show, I kind of talked about this and how it looked interesting. It actually ended up in my subscription box this week. Oh my God, it's gorgeous. I got the Walt Simonson variant cover. These guys are doing work over here at Titan Comics that are very similar to the work that you're featuring there, that you're talking about.
Insight.
Over at Insight.
Very cool.
Really, really pretty. I have not read it yet, but I know that this is going to be tougher to find because it's Titan and they don't have really a strong share on the shelf. So if you are fortunate enough to see it, I say grab it.
Alrighty, so my next pick, I have a couple of picks that are coming at you, so stay tuned here.
I'll let you finish it up.
All right, so we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Dimension X. They're doing a 5-week event, 1 book a week. Directly ties into the exciting events of the main series Trial Krang, continuing the events from Free Comic Book Day.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you get the Free Comic Book Day, this will tie right into it. Ask your retailer about getting the ultra limited Kevin Eastman variant to issue number 1. So 5 books, each released once a week for the next 5 weeks, $3.99 a piece. So check out those.
You know what? There is one that I missed, and it was from Marvel, and it's a collection. It's the hardcover Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 4 by Brian Michael Bendis, Valerio Schiti, and with covers and chapter breaks by Arthur Adams. What a great run this was. Oops.
No.
Did I make the
I
CD
hit
skip?
it. No, I didn't.
That's so
I
funny.
hit it. That was me.
But it collects issues 1 through 10 of the 2015 run. I loved this series. I really, really did. I got nothing bad to say about it. For a while, this was the only Marvel book that I was buying, and it really kind of kept the Guardians of the Galaxy feel very much alive, like the sense of humor and the action. So, awesome. And great work by all the talents involved on that. So that's Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 4 hardcover. That's going to be in stores now.
All right, now this is a pick for my sister Kylie. Sherlock, the Great Game #1, written by Steve Thompson, art by Jay, co-creators Mark Gatiss and Stephen Moffat, of course. An explosive new Sherlock storyline. Someone is causing trouble for Sherlock Holmes and John Watson, and innocent victims are caught in the middle. A mysterious villain is setting a series of deadly puzzles for the crime-solving duo, and failure to solve each riddle is deadly. Who is the villain, and what is the link to Sherlock and John? There's 4 variant covers, so check that out. Sherlock is out on the street. It comes out beginning of August, $4.99 a book. And my final pick, if any of you know me and know my past from back when we used to do the old music show, Brian and I, we used to call the show Equilibrium TV. It is based because we love this movie so much. But now, celebrating the 50th anniversary of Equilibrium with an official prequel to the cult film, Equilibrium Deconstruction #1. It's written, the covers by Gene Magora. The writer is Lawrence Maroney. Art by Jazz Della Coseta. 32 pages. Before Liberia, before Prosium, before the Gammaton clerics, there was a world much like our own, a world where a global conspiracy to reduce mankind's footprint on the environment clashed with the security agencies of global powers, desperate to maintain their control. Between them, one man supplying the weapons they desire, and one woman whose talents will deconstruct civilization. This is the untold story of the war that brought about the world of Equilibrium. Equilibrium Deconstruction comes with 3 covers, so you can check that out. And also, a little add-on to that, that's $3.99 a piece for the 3-issue thing, or the 3 thing they have going on for the Equilibrium 15th anniversary. But they have a 3-issue sequel to the movie Equilibrium, if you're a fan of that, an old Christian Bale movie. Very much in the style of, came out at the same time as Matrix.
See, it's funny.
It's
I've
more
never
realistic.
seen it or heard of it.
Oh, such a good movie. You should get a chance to check it out. Equilibrium had a comic book sequel. That's right, a 3-issue series that we've put together here for you to read with a set of hard-to-find photo covers. Look out, sense offenders. Limited stock availability. Allocations may occur. It's $19.99 for all 3 books together, so you can check that out.
And who puts that out, Mark?
That's being put out by American Mythology.
That's interesting. I've never even...
Yeah, so it's a really old Christian Bale movie. It's not very well known, but it's a very cult classic film. Very realistic, a lot of guns, and it's very cool. So if you get a chance, check out the movie Equilibrium, and then delve into these comic books.
I'll have to check it out. Well, that concludes our Comic Watch. Those are books that are available right now in your local comic shop or Barnes & Noble or
wherever you may find a comic
wherever
book.
you get your books.
Yeah.
And we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back. We'll have a nice promo for Thirsty Thursday, which again is
touch
tonight.
on that again.
And then we'll do the Free Lunch News.
Free Lunch menu will be coming at you
Free Lunch
in just a bit here on Free Lunch
Comic
News.
Every Thursday night at Free Lunch Studios in Terriffill, Connecticut, we open the doors to our friends for drinking, gameplay, networking, and our favorite beverage. Come on by Free Lunch Studios in the Terriffill Mill for drink and draw, drink and game, or even drink and learn. Every Thursday night, 7 to 9:30, hosted by Matt Ryan. Come on down, freelunchcomics.com.
All right, welcome back to Free Lunch Comic News.
Thanks for tuning in.
It's that time of the day where we talk about what's going on in the world of Free Lunch Studios.
Yes.
It's now time for another new segment, the Free Lunch Menu. Take it away, Matt.
All right, you got it. Well, today, as you just heard, is Thirsty Thursday, and we'll be serving up the opportunity to come to the office and draw with me for a couple hours. You know, last week we played D&D with the guests. Sometimes people bring a game or whatever. This weekend, I'm working at the... there's a video game tournament in Meriden called the Switch Up, the Big Switch. I can't think of it off the top of my head, but Hector Navarro is working with Steph Sandoval from Rejects, and it's a video game tournament for charity. It's at the Free Lunch Studios Facebook page, but that's an event where I'll be drawing caricatures and commissions for people, and a portion of the proceeds are going to go to that charity. So I'm very excited to be able to work with those people.
Yeah, that's awesome.
They're good people. I can't get enough of them. I just saw them Sunday. I'm going to see them again tomorrow or Saturday. And then that night, I will be traveling up to Wilbraham, Massachusetts, which is right on the Springfield border.
Yep.
And I will be drawing caricatures and commissions at the biggest roller derby rematch in the area. They are calling it their Super Bowl. They're already starting to taunt each other in social media. But it's the Western Mass Furies hosting the Hartford Whalers. If you don't know, I'm the official cartoonist for the Hartford Whalers. And I've been an honored guest at their home shows. This is my first away game that I've been to, so I'm very, very excited about that.
Now, if no one's ever been, you have like stickers for all the different...
Stickers and cards from last season and stickers from the players from this season. I can't imagine I'm going to be turning over too many of those over at the Western Mass, but you never know. They're going to come with me.
They're collector's items.
It's true. I will be bringing Food Fight number 6 out
Get 'em
to
signed.
there. It's true. It's true. It's fun to get them to autograph, and they're all wonderful ladies. They're very fun.
Yes.
Very personable people. So next week I've got the Monday Night Jam and Thirsty Thursday as normal, and I think Labor Day weekend is looking pretty clear. Once we get into that second week of September, that's when Camp Anime is running, and I'll be hosting the art fight during their
Art fight.
Yes, during their lunchtime. And then, Mark, you and I are teaming up again. We're
Yes.
going to be at the Eastfield Mall.
Yes, I'll be doing caricatures while Matt's at the anime.
And I'll be shouting at people.
All stick figures.
Yes.
The greatest stick figures you've ever seen in your lives.
So you're going to be with me that whole day, Saturday and Sunday? Sunday I won't be there.
I will probably be there that Sunday, too.
Okay, Sunday you'd
Possibly.
be taking care of the booth.
Yes.
Sunday I will be at Septemberfest in Simsbury, where I will be doing caricatures there from 1 until 4. So that's why I can't commit to both. But it'll be great to have you there,
Yes.
kind of repping the colors.
Yeah.
Once
Yeah.
we get to mid-September, I can't really think that far out, but I know that October is going to be very exciting. The first week in October is the 24-hour comic challenge, and I'll be hosting that. And then I know I'll be sneaking down to the New York Comic Con to look for some work, so you may see me bebopping around there.
And the month of September, we got CliffsCon.
We do have CliffsCon at the end of the month, and then I always have availability for my Friday night class, the Drawing and Painting for Teens, which meets every Friday from 4 to 6:30. And then I'm going to be starting up the Wednesday night comic and manga club in September as well. Yeah, it's gonna be good. It's gonna, we're coming out of the summer, and things are still pretty exciting. It's just, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. So that's it.
If
That's
anyone
all I
wants
got
any
for
more
Freelance
information
News.
about Freelance Comic, Freelance Studios, books that are coming out, you got the Rejects book that's out. And
Yep.
You got number 6 for Food Fight that's out.
Yep.
You can also get Last number 1.
So you can find out about all of
All
these
that stuff
things
is
at
all at-
freelunchcomics.com, or you go to the Free Lunch Studio Facebook page. I don't have any copies of The Last anymore, so I have to connect. I've got to connect with 3 people. I got to connect with Chris Fizakis of Simple Comics to get my hands on some copies of The Last. I have to connect with Wally Sizniak from Twin Robots Comics, which, by the way, for those of you that are in the Washington, D.C. metro area, Wally was successfully picked up for Rex Atlas, which is a story that I wrote. So that's going to be in that paper.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and we'll be walking around. I think he's going to be giving away free teasers of that comic, of Rex Atlas, I believe 1 and 2 and maybe 3 at the New York Comic Con, and it'll be in the same format as your favorite book that I've done, The Terror of Wellfleet.
That is my favorite book you've done.
Then
I like Rejects, too.
Rejects, they're great. They're great
But
people.
I like Terror of Wellfleet is my favorite thing you've ever done.
And I also need to connect with Martha Ritter and get copies of The Nearly Calamitous Taming of PZ.
You need to get in touch with a lot of people.
I do. Well, it's been pretty chaotic.
Yeah.
But that kind of, takes care of the news. I know we're going to play a little bit Ultimate Frisbee this weekend, but
I've heard that rumor.
oh, I love it.
Heard
But
that
that's
rumor.
it. That's it for the Free Lunch News. Free
right.
Lunch Studio News.
All right, so that's it for the show. We'll be back in 2 weeks, hopefully.
Yes, and we
Our plan is
thank
to be
you.
back in 2 weeks.
We thank you for
We
tuning in.
thank you. We thank you for coming back after a long wait.
Yep,
Summer's always kind of hectic, August especially with vacations and everything.
it's true.
But when we come back next, I'll be a year older.
And we'll be able to go over our new picks for I believe it's for November. Yeah, this is for books now. I think we're going to be picking books that are going to be solicited for November's shelves.
Wow.
Yep. So if you
stay
don't read
tuned for that.
previews, we're going to be able to give you kind of a behind the
what's
curtain.
coming up?
Yep.
What's coming at you?
And
So I'll be a year older next time we do the show.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, birthdays are coming up. Birthdays are coming up.
Oh, happy birthday. When's your birthday?
September 6th.
Oh my gosh, right around
I'll be
the corner.
38.
Okay, let's not do this. Okay, so thank
be
you so
this
much
many.
for our live feed fans.
Yes,
We're going to wave
thank
goodbye
you,
to you.
goodbye
Thank
to
you for
you.
tuning in.
Goodbye to all you folks listening on the interwebs and anywhere you listen to your show. Be sure to check us out. We're on iTunes. We're on
Podbean.
We're on Facebook. We're on the Twitter. If
And
you have
it's-
any questions or anything you want us to talk about, or if you're an artist or you're a writer that has your own comic book that you want to get the news out there, get the word out there about your book,
we'll let people know.
Give us a shout. We'll definitely talk about it. This is what we're here for. We're here to get the word of comic books out.
Yes.
And make sure everyone's out there reading books, because that's what we should be doing.
Yes, it's the medium. We love it. We represent it.
Yes. It's in our blood.
Yes.
You cut me, I bleed ink. Ooh. So I'll be back in a couple weeks with another Free Lunch Comic Book News.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Thanks, everyone, and see you all then.
Bye-bye.